Hello everyone, in this video we're going to have fun with panel cloth and random flow. We're going to create a chair or a bench that you can put into your sci-fi scene, and let's begin modeling the base mesh. We're going to create the cushion and the pillows and design the let's focus on designing the base mesh first. And we're not gonna dwell too much on actually this is too much on the gribble detail this time, but just focus on some really simple design. And yeah, so this is our chair and the handle. I wonder if we can incline this a bit more. Oops, I forgot the screen cast keys. There we go. And also fix this. Okay. And give it some thickness. We're going to use random creative flow for that. Draw modifiers. Use solidify and increase the thickness. We are then going to apply this mesh to make the solidify faces real, and then reestablish the mirror using auto mirror, the x-axis. Okay, create a loop cut. To make this loop cut, copy the direction of the edge that is surrounding it. It can be this one here or this one here. So in order to switch between this and this, we're going to use E or F, F, E to activate, and then F to flip between the shapes. So this one is copying this shape here of the edge, and this one is copying this shape. So we want this straighter one here, so press F, and then you can place it here, and then add your additional loop cuts here so they are all straight, following this two bordering edges. Okay, I'm just gonna save this as chair. Oops. Let me just save this as chair. Okay. Let's make it let's make it straight in the y-axis, scaling it to the y-axis, and just press 0. This one here, we can't use the z-axis to straighten this, but you can just probably eyeball this. Selecting this edge here, press GG to slide the edge. There we go. And then bevel. So the beveled edges inside maintains the shape of the edge loop. There you go. And bevel as well. This one's a bit twisted, and also this one. We need to flatten these faces. The Z axis. So press S to scale, Z to uh, clip it or um, limit it to the z-axis, and then press 0. There we go. Still twisted. Something is, oh, the this one, and this one. So I'm just going to use the knife K and then A. Press inside the knife model mode. Press A to snap the cut to an angle, and press C to cut through. And then bevel. Okay. We now have our base mesh. Now that we have the quad structure, it is easier for us to model additional details. Then it's probably too big. So let's bring it up. Set the pivot point to the 3D cursor. Oops, not the 3D cursor, or the individual origins. Scale, and there we go. Connecting this one and this one. Press K for knife, and then use this vert here, and then A to snap it to angles, and then press C to make the knife cut through the mesh, and click. Okay. Add two edges here as well, and Control E, bridge edge loop, and add additional topology here as well. Okay, now we have our chair. That's it. Thanks for watching. Just kidding. Now let's create a cushion. Um, I'm going to duplicate this area and press P to separate the selection, and then fix the spacing of the oops. We just I cut the wrong one. Okay, this one. Fix the spacing of the edge loops. There we go. And separate this one from this one. So selecting this one, I'm pressing Alt right click, so it shows me a menu that is that contains all the objects underneath the mouse cursor when you use the hotkey. Alt click, Alt click. If it's only a single one, then it selects that object instantaneously. Cursor selected. Okay, selecting this one, selecting all the faces. Let's use panel cloth. You can find it in the utility submenu. Panel cloth. Cuts one, remove faces, and increase the resolution. So with your copy, be careful with this. Press it because it starts with 5, cuts 5 instead of 1. So in the next update coming soon, I will be fixing this and it will start at cuts 1. Okay, so but for this kind of resolution, it's okay if you start at 5. Just be careful with it if you're using it on a much higher face count. So remove faces means that it will remove our proxy mesh. Increase the cut and to have more faces. play with. Do not use mirror. So the puffiness is controlled by the pressure, and the mass is how heavy. I think the mass is how heavy or how dense the object is. I guess we need to find the perfect balance point, 25. And the shrink, there we go. Okay, just a bit of cushion. It's just for the meek anyways. The population and not the lower class. So you can just, yeah, just enough comfort. Okay, this one as well, panel cloth. Oops, no face slipping. Did we use six? Okay, we used six. Okay, now we have our. Let's copy this or save it into the mesh. Save. So if we mock this up, we have copy. So for example, cube and mesh data use. Then you can just re-establish the mirror. Okay. Um, we can design this. Let's just do some basic Final Cuts using the bevel mode. This one. This is destructive, which means the details will be etched into the source mesh. Where just do a very simple Final Cut details. Okay, let's do the non-destructive version. So I'm going to show you another trick with this. So if you like most of the pattern that you're seeing, but you want to manually fix these lines, you might have to use Final Cutter. So let me just show you. So just look for a pattern that doesn't need a lot of fixing. Okay, this one, for example. So we can turn it into a mark sharp only mesh. So not that one. Okay, this one. Oops. Good. So let's repeat that. I'm going to fix that in the update. This one is creating mark sharp edges, so it's overlapping the effect of this toggle here. So let's just use flat because this is just mostly angular model, angular details anyway, or angular design. Okay, this one, and even offset off or even offset on, and then mark sharp only. There we go. So we can fix some of this. So for example, this one here, mark sharp, and this one here, let's erase that. Clear sharp. So we are basically affecting the way the panel islands will be created. Just make sure that the mark sharp edges are contiguous, meaning that they form a boundary or encircle faces or the panel islands and not end abruptly like this. So not that. You need to have to make it contiguous, meaning that it's interconnected to the other face elements. So you can create effects like this, mark sharp, and then sharp. So they are all contiguous. And then when you finish with that, you can you select all of the faces and then use Final Cut and then bevel. Oh, not that. Bevel the entire face. Let's just wait. I hope it doesn't crash. Select an edge which is marked sharp, and then Shift G to select the similar edges with the same sharpness. There we go. And then you can use Final Cut for those. There we go. And you can, of course, review. Then let's change this one. Control Z to cancel or undo. Clear sharp and then mark sharp. You can add additional edges just to affect the flow of the edge cuts. Clear sharp and then mark sharp. Do not, I'm making the same mistake again. Do not select everything. Just select the edges that are sharp, the edges that are marked sharp. Shift G. Select an edge that is marked sharp and Shift G sharpness. And then use Final Cut. There you go. The Final Cuts are less sharp now, except this one. Okay, let's change this one as well. Control E, clear sharp, then mark sharp. And use the select similar functionality again. There you go. Might have to get rid of the original cube in its position, original chair in its position. So cube R, Alt P to unparent it, and then select the cube and bring it to the side. Move it Now we have this. So you can still, you can of course do this manually, the details manually. We missed one right here. But of course, I'm just using it to demonstrate the effect of this toggle here, Mark Chapman. Okay, so let's create pillows. Setting the 3D cursor here. So, oh no, um, yeah, I think we can do that. 3D cursor there. Draw faces. Shift C. Oh, we can have you can position the X mark on the position of the 3D cursor using Alt C. There we go. Or you can reposition the X mark using Shift C, and then it will snap on any of the surface of the object underneath the mouse cursor. So this determines the distance that the draw object will be created, the X position, based on the view angle. So this is our look angle, and the X or the 3D cursor marks the position or the distance that it is created from our look angle before. Okay, so we need to uh, actually, instead of drawing it, let's just use a simple view just to avoid complications. View and add additional edge loop. Try this one. Just apply the scale, not the rotation. Okay, selecting this one as object collision, and select the mesh that you're going to use for the cloth simulation. The rest of the selection will be used for object collision, and the active object will be the one used for the simulation. Utility, final cloth, increase the resolution, increase the puffiness. This, I think this is, there we go. Too small. Do not pin, let it fall, and object collision. Collide to source. Use collision. No, do not collide to source. Not dropping because it doesn't have gravity. Oosh. Puff it up. Come on, baby. Puff the magic dragon. And add a subsurf. Actually, undo that and duplicate this because we need some more of it. So let's help the position, or let's reposition the object to help the physics later on. Final cloth, increased subdivision. It's losing mass. 0.5 to 1.8. Oops. Zero point 0.1, and pressure is 1.2 or 3. to not really touching the object distance 0.01, object distance 0.01. There we go. 0.005. Okay. And add a subsurf level. There we go. We have our first pillow. Okay, 0.1 is good. Then we can create another one. Selection to cursor. Position it for the simulation later. Click the object collision object. Increase our subdivision. Add subsurf level. You can still modify this using the scope function or the yeah, using the scope function or the smooth vertices function. Cursor to selection to cursor. Make sure that it doesn't clip or overlap the collision objects. Panel cloth. Okay, here we go. Still fix it. Smooth it using this smooth modifier. Where is the smooth modifier? It's in the form. One. Hit the iteration. There we go. Just to let you control the default creasing. Copy this to other objects. New. Copy the bottom. No. One. Factor of one and repeat. There we go. So you have those again, really cheap cushions just for the population. Okay, now we're going to just do a basic material shading for this. Open materials and run the vertex color, no saturation, value 3, and then island. There's no island. Let's use sharp. Be careful with sharp on high resolution objects. It could crash. This object here. Run the vertex color object. There we go. And we appended the materials. Yes, we have. Hide the cloth. Assign material are from metal. Select these objects and assign the material our flow cloth. And let's do basic test or look. Okay, let's fix the color for this. This unwashed and full of fleas. And let's use the vertex color we created earlier. Make sure to have Node Wrangler on to make this submenu appear. We're going to try and make the metal match up with the how dirty the cloth is. Quick dirt. Set the strength to 1.01 and adjust the scale of the noise. The scale of the noise determines the breakage in the texture using the min-max values. Here we go. You can invert this or smooth the resulting texture. Okay, and the scratches, I guess they're at the right size. There you go, as dirty as the cloth. So all we need to do is add the peaks in the cavity mask. There. And yeah. I guess the I guess the pillow is just the pillow doesn't make sense if this is outdoors because this will be stolen by the population. Let's add let's add a simple ground plane for this using textures from Polyhaven as well. New, there we go, unwrap and apply the scale and make the texture smaller. Okay, so yeah, I guess the pillows are not going to be if this is outside, this will be stolen probably. So yeah, but just to show you that you can create that kind of stuff using the panel cloth operator. So I guess this chair will be you can then join these objects and then use this chair as for the asset browser. You can see you can of course create a bunch of copies of this to populate your scene. Maybe render it in this distance. You can even render it at close up. It's still convincing enough. But the pillows, the pillow, yeah, the pillows are good. You can still affect the shape of the pillows using the sculpt tools. The simulation will just give you the first step And you can add other effects like cables hanging from the underside. Doesn't make sense, but if you have really good storytelling skills, you can, of course, get away with this. Just to break up the, you can use that just to break up the um, uh, inner outside shape. So we have the inner shape, that's not shape, the inner profile, the outside profile, something like that. So you can do this to break this shape up instead of just this. Just adds more interests. Okay, so yeah, that is how you can quickly create this the chair or the bench using panel cloth and random flow. If you want, you can just skip the grable detail and manually add your details because this is just a simple bench. But for the panel cloth, that's how you create it. The way that the object collisions are set up is unique to the operator. While it's using the vanilla simulator, cloth simulator in Blender, the way it sets up the object collision is unique to the operator. You can read all about that in the online documentation of the add-on. The link is in the add-on preferences and the product page. So basically you select the objects you want as object collisions and then the final selection, which is the active object in Blender, there you go, will be the one used for the the cloth simulation or with the panel cloth operator. Okay, yeah, so that is our chair or bench. There's our base mesh. You can, of course, again, you can make this lighter since this is angular or hard surface. We don't need to, or you don't need to animate it. It doesn't need to jump, smile, or frown or bend. So limit dissolve. Control. You can leave the end gun as it is, or Control T to can just to make it lighter for the asset browser. Okay, so I hope you learned something new with this video, and you can now be a you can now produce thousands of this iteration to build up your library. Okay, so if you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Be sure to subscribe if you're using the add-on to learn more about it. And thank you for watching and have a nice day.